Hello, everybody. This is guide 4 of the Cube Combination Boss series. Uh, Generally, the fourth boss of the game that you would want to fight is right after Raider Brute's Island, otherwise known as Hammerdom. Um, Compared to the other second ring boss, Pyro, Hammerdom generally has less of an item requirement um as Pyro, solely because Hammerdom is more based off of skill and patience rather than hit big guy with sword. However, um yeah, forgot what I was gonna say. Not going off of a script here. On a side note, what I would generally recommend for strategies is to use Raider Roots Island um as a form of catching device, because the walls of Raider Roots Island can stop you from being flung off due to Hammerdom's stomp. Um I would generally recommend, if you are just learning the game and are trying to actively get good at it, to have a friend or random person be backup in case you die. However, Hammerdom is generally easier to solo rather than do it with multiple people. Uh Generally, you only need a speed coil and sword. I would recommend Frostfire for this. However, it is fully possible to do it with the starter kit items. Um, Even for his second phase, which triggers at 40% HP, 3,840 health, where he gets much faster and swings much faster. Um, Strategies for the boss. This is when I can't. Well, Hammerdom is when I can't stress this enough. Bosses don't have patterns, they have cooldowns. Um. However, with bosses like Hammerdom, cooldowns are generally short enough to be in a noticeable pattern. For his first phase, typically he only swings his hammer 3 times. However, if you are quick enough to re-engage with Hammerdom, he can swing it 4 times at a max. Counting is very important during the Hammerdom fight, because you have to know when his stomp is, especially if you're doing it without a fusion coil. However, once again, it is not required in any means. If you are watching this pre-killing Raider Brute, one strategy that I would recommend is using Raider Brute to clear out these spikes before the Hammerdom boss fight, because they can get in the way during it. However, clearing them out using Hammerdom is a noticeably faster process than using Raider Brute due to Hammerdom's speed and his collision damage with objects. If not, you can use just a regular... You can use your sword to clear them out, however, that does take a noticeable amount of time. On the topic of doing Hammerdom without a speed coil or fusion coil, if you are trying to practice doing him without any speed items, I would highly recommend using red cubes. Instead of immediately going from speed coil to nothing. Considering you're not supposed to be getting hit for this fight, armor isn't even required. However, iron armor can be used to tank a hit from Hammerdom, and if you, instead of just going the boss route, you can bridge over to the compressor, which is to the left of Hammerdom's island. And craft yourself plated steel, plated iron, if not steel armor. My mistake there. Once again, if this is your first time doing the boss fight, I would recommend bringing in a life cube, maybe 2. However, they aren't necessary for the fight. The main difference between his patterns for second phase is that instead of doing 3 to 4 hits, he does 4 to 5. And iron armor can no longer tank a hit from his hammer due to him dealing 300 damage to 500 damage. Generally, speed coil is more no-brain for the fight. However, if you want to just speedrun Hammerdom or are too lazy to craft a speed coil, red cubes or a shield I would recommend. Other than that, that is the fourth boss in the lineup completed. I apologize for any blank spots in the footage. Trying to lock in. And apart from that, I hope you enjoyed Hammerdom gameplay or footage during the guide. And I will see you within the next boss in the lineup. Otherwise, cryo. Subscribe.